So Heather, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Good, good. I appreciate you doing this. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally?
I am originally from Wisconsin and moved here 23 years ago. In 2008, I moved to Hawaii and came back in 2012.
Is your family out here with you, or
Most of them, yes. I have a sister out here, a brother out here, a daughter out here.
what was your childhood like, from what you can remember?
I don't remember a whole lot of my childhood. I was the baby.
Both parents?
Both parents, for sure. Both parents, yeah.
Siblings?
Yeah, two sisters and a brother. I was the youngest, and we didn't grow up real rich or anything like that. Just average people, And let's see, my brother and my sister, they were not the greatest of kids. I could say they were both in adult prisons before they were 18. They were 16, both of them. And my parents were a little tired because they had put them through a lot, growing into a teenager and stuff. So one day I got caught. I skipped school, got caught, and my mom.
High school?
Sorry?
High school?
No, actually it was junior high.
Oh, okay.
And it was, I was 14, and my parents made me go live with my sister, who was just released from prison, just. She was 19. She had been there for 3.5 years, and she had 10 years of parole to do. And my parents were like, we're too tired to take care of her, to deal with her. And so I stayed with my sister for a long time, and then got pregnant with my daughter at early, 17, and then had her and went off on my own kind of thing, danced for years. Me and my sister both danced at the same club, and then moved out here when I was 30.
What made you move from Wisconsin to Arizona?
Well, let's see, and after this was in 1999. It was December of 1999 when I moved here, and 2 years prior to that, I started using heroin, China white heroin, with my ex-husband, who's passed away right now. And I wanted to get off of it, but I noticed that everybody that I knew that was on it, he'd been doing it for years. I didn't. But I had just done it for the 2 years, and then everybody that I knew that had gone off of it, they went off of it on methadone. Mm-hmm. And then they'd end up with two habits because they'd go back to the heroin. So then I'm like, I'm not doing that, you know what I mean? My mom had just passed away, and my dad was down here by himself, and so I was just like, I'm just going to go. It was a hard decision, Sure. It was a very hard decision, but that's what I did. And I came out here, and I went to a rehab, or what do they call it? When you just go off the drug. I can't think of the name of it, but not a rehab. I didn't go to rehab, but just to get off the dope, For 3 weeks I was in there, and then I got off, and I stayed. I've never done it really again. So.
Was your sister out here with you during that time?
No.
Did you have any kind of support system?
No, she was still back there using heroin. No, I didn't. I was by myself. My dad was here, but he was not here. He was gone to Costa Rica. He'd met a new lady and married her, but his house was here, so I stayed here.
And where was your daughter at this point?
My daughter, she was in middle school, so she elected to finish middle school there for another year, and she stayed with my mother-in-law, and then she flew out here a year later.
Gotcha. What was life like for you when you did get clean?
Well, it was okay for a while. I worked 2 jobs and just worked on everything. I was not lonely at all. Just worked a lot, But then I gave a person a ride one day. She was crying at a payphone. I was really green from Wisconsin, She was a meth addict, and she introduced me to meth. So I started to do that. Basically just replaced the heroin with that, and that's been a battle for me for all these years, really.
Sure. Is meth big out in Arizona?
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
What's your relationship like now with your daughter?
It's good.
Good?
Yeah.
Did she struggle with drug addiction too?
No. No, actually she's a teacher.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, she went to school and did well. I'm doing well.
Yeah. And she still lives out here?
She still lives out here.
Is your sister still out here too?
She's out here. She's a drug counselor.
A drug counselor?
Yeah.
Yeah, the irony, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. She was able to turn her life around.
She works for a very large company out here that's all about rehab.
Yeah. And what do you currently do for money? You working? You're an escort.
I'm an escort. Yeah.
How did you initially get started into that? Get introduced to that life? Just through the whole drug thing?
Yeah, pretty much. I knew a girl who, I got married again out here. So married him in 2007, and then I met this girl through his cousin. This is just small circle, but a large circle of meth people that, you know, everybody knows everybody. So I met this girl, and I knew that she was Escort, but I worked at AT&T as, you know, as a customer service rep and for tech support, whatever. And so I lost my job because they moved my tier to the Philippines. And then when they came back, I was on unemployment. They came back, brought our tier back, but I got the felony in between there. So when I came back, they rescreened me and stuff. So they found that felony and they wouldn't hire me back. And I was like, that was my first realization that I was not going to be able to get a job very easily after having a felony. So I called that girl and I said, hey, you know, I have an issue. I'm having a problem because my job situation. And she's like, no problem. I will show you the ropes. So she did. And she doesn't do it anymore. She'd gotten caught like 3 times before she quit. I've yet to be busted after that. But yeah. But I've done it for years, since 2010, actually. No, since 2012.
And never gotten arrested?
No.
What was that first experience like for you? Scary?
A little bit. At first, though, for the first year and a half, I started off as a body rub person, body massage. So that was it. And back then, Backpage was huge, and it was like $150 an hour. It was easy, easy for me.
Yeah.
But then I noticed I did a lot of work with her. We'd get an in-call place, like we'd go rent a hotel room or something together and work out of the same room. And she was making a lot more money than me. Yeah. She was making a lot more money than me. So that's when I decided to start to escort, about a year and a half into it.
How much money weekly can you typically make escorting?
Oh, typically I can easily make $1,000 a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I usually don't take days off. But I do lately in the last couple of years, I've taken days off where I'm just like, I'm not answering my phone today. I'm just, So there's days like that nowadays. But back then, it was like 8 or 9,000 a day. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I've made so much money, and I have like no money now to show for it. I mean, I still escort, but I don't do it like that anymore, like I was back then. But I'm really ready to retire from this. So that's my goal.
What do you envision life like being like when this is all finished?
Boy, I have no idea. Pretty plain. I think it's going to be pretty plain, which is fine.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, it's been a wild ride. So.
Yeah. You had mentioned you and your daughter won the Tyra Banks show.
Yep.
What was that episode about?
It was about mother escorts. There was a lady she was actually doing porn, actually. So she was actually doing porn, and she was about 27, and she used the name Tyra Banks with the triple X at the end because she actually looked just like Tyra Banks.
Right.
And so she brought her on the show to tell her that she wanted her to stop doing what she was doing because her boyfriend wanted her to stop doing what she was doing and to stop using her name. So then I was just like an extra on the show. It's like, I don't know, this extra. So I was an escort, and she asked me some questions. It was good. Me and my daughter, we hadn't talked for a while because I had gone to prison, and this was while she went to high school. She was 16. She was going high school, and actually went through high school pretty much on her own. Because I was in prison. We didn't have any family from here. My father had left there. My brother and sister weren't here yet. And she stayed with I called my landlord when I was arrested, and he was cool. He had taken care of her, made sure she just can't get pregnant. That's the only thing, that's my only rules. He was the Phoenix school superintendent for U.S. schools, for the public schools. And so he was like super cool. So she stayed with him for 2 years, and then she graduated. Valedictorian.
Oh, wow.
And then she went on to college. So, but at the time, I had just gotten out of prison when this happened, maybe 3 months before that. And so for those 2 years, we didn't see much of each other. I would, it was like she would write, but not very often because she was busy. She worked and she went to school and she was a teacher's assistant. So I didn't get to talk to her much. So but at the time, I was wanting to get closer to her, but she was almost like pushing me away.
Yeah.
As she turned 18. And so we went on the show trying to talk to her a little bit.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. When you think about that era and those things in your life, is it tough to deal with?
It just kind of sucks it went that way, but I did the best I could.
Yeah.
Really.
What did you go to prison for?
Possession of paraphernalia. I had possession, they dropped that, and they left me with paraphernalia charge. So I went for a year and a half at the time.
Yeah.
And that was in 2003.
And that was kind of what ultimately led to you and her not speaking.
Yeah. And then we became fine because I stayed sober when I got out of prison. I stayed sober for 5.5 years, and we were good. Then she had gotten pregnant, like right at the end of that 5.5 years, she had gotten pregnant. Actually, it was even after that. It was like 6 years. She got pregnant with her son, and because I wasn't steady in her life, I was there, but I wasn't. We didn't live together. She lived with her husband, who she married from high school. Right out of high school, she married him at 18, and we kind of. I just, because I didn't want to be in and out of his life. I just kind of stayed out of their life, because I couldn't commit to a regular kind of a schedule.
Sure.
So we did stay apart for a while, and then we weren't mad at each other, nothing like that. We did not talk, but we did. It just wasn't very often, and we still lived in the same city. It was just retarded. But I was busy and just made mistakes.
Yeah, I'm assuming that her dad isn't around.
No, never was.
Yeah. Does your family know what kind of life you live now? Do they know you escort and things
they
like
do.
that? Or?
Yeah, I think they do. I'm pretty sure that they do. We don't really talk. My sister for sure does, and my dad, I'm pretty sure does, but we don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
My brother, he does, I'm pretty sure, and my daughter for sure. And she, we've talked about it. Me and my daughter are close today. Today we're close. We're very close. She could talk to me about anything. I could talk to her about anything. She's had another child since then, and I've made a super effort to be a part of their lives and be in their lives. So it's gone better now. You know what I mean? But back then, were tough times.
Sure. What's your biggest regret in life?
Drugs. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel like the biggest lesson you've learned in life is?
To value every day, because I probably didn't.
Yeah. It goes by fast.
Yeah.
Super fast.
It does. It goes by super fast.
What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you in life?
Oh, geez, the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. I've been in some really good situations, I'm sure, but I suppose the night before I came to Arizona, well, I don't know if I should say this online. I probably shouldn't, because I probably should not do that. But I had gotten into a bad car accident, and that was pretty crazy, and that was my fault. And I came here, and let's see, what else has happened? Well, let's see, I've had a home invasion, and there was 3 guys in our yard. They were coming in. My husband at the time, he had just, I've been married 4 times. So this is my last husband, who's also passed away now. And he had just finished building a Harley from the ground up. And these guys knew about it, and they were coming to rob him. So it was like 2 a.m. We had a friend over, and my husband noticed somebody going through the backyard with guns, machine rifles, And so I went in the closet and I called 911. I'm like, fuck, there's people around here, they don't call the cops. They're like, don't call the cops. So my husband, he found out, he took the phone from me and he broke it. And, he's just like, why didn't you call the cops for? And as they were, as this argument was going on, these people were going to come through our kitchen window or whatever. And he had gotten a gun from the friend that was there that day. And he said, the first one, he yelled it. He's like, first one through that window. Because our window, I had accidentally broke this big picture window mopping. And that, like that day. So the window was covered up with a bunch of cardboard until somebody could come fix the window. And so they were coming through that window, with these rifles, whatever. And so he told him, he said the first one through the window was going to get shot, which he did shoot the first person. And when he did that, the cops were above us with a helicopter on the loudspeaker. So 2 of the guys ran. One they caught, one they didn't. And then the other one got shot and killed in their house. And so, and it happened to be somebody that my husband had gone to school with his whole life from kindergarten up. And we just, he really took that hard. And so we moved to Hawaii for a while and came back. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Before we wrap it up, if you could leave a message to your younger self or somebody who maybe in your position at 17, 18, 19 years old who may be, escorting as a means to get by and a necessity and trying to make it out of that life, what would your advice to them be?
Invest your money, save money. Definitely, buy some life insurance policies because you can always draw on them later. Do something wise with your money if you're going to do it. If you're going to do this, this has served me well for a long time, but it's also 24/7, which has completely alienated me from world. You know what I mean? Now it's like hard to go back to work for anybody. So I would just say, do it for a couple of years, get out, make some money, invest it, save it, whatever you got to do, but don't stay in it, and do something, go to school, or go to school while you're doing it. It's super easy. You can definitely do that, especially if you start young.
Is there a certain type of man that generally contacts you? Is it married men? Is it older, younger? Like, is there a kind of
I thought you say that because I was just talking to somebody about this last night. Let's see, from the beginning until the pandemic started, my usual age range was 45 to 65.
Right.
That was all that called me. I posted in my ads, nobody under 40. I will not see anybody under 40 because they play games and this and that, And so that was my thing. Then the pandemic happened. And for whatever reason during the pandemic, my age group completely changed to 25 to 35, and that's what it is today.
Yeah.
So, and as far as married men and what people really truly think, I can honestly say 95% of my clientele is not married. Yeah. 95%, which shocks me even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
sure.
But yeah, definitely shocking. I'm sure that I have married clientele, but they're very few and far between. It's mostly younger single guys that don't have a girlfriend, probably don't even want one right now in their life. They're too busy with other things, and times have changed. So but it's a convenience. It's just a convenience that they take advantage of. So
yeah,
and yeah. So I'm like a good provider. We call ourselves providers because that's what we do. We provide a service, and I'm actually on the top 100 TER, top 100 of this state because it's in every state and the world. Number 13 in the top 100.
What's TDR?
TER is the erotic review.
Oh, okay. And you could just go see your reviews, I guess?
Yeah, I have 40 plus reviews on there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, Heather, I definitely appreciate you sharing your story. Is there anything you want to add before we wrap it up? Or?
No, I'm good.
Good?
Yeah.
Definitely. I definitely appreciate you sharing it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.